we had one final topic. What was it?
The AI thing, right?
Hmm?
The AI thing.
Ah, yes.
Wasn't that the last one?
Yeah, that we just were talking about it. We can
That was
get
it, right?
Yeah, that was the last one. Yeah, go ahead and hear that. Good.
With the one with
Uh,
the one with the lady?
no, with the basically the technology. Let me go. So we were talking before.
Mhm.
Um, I we there's an AI that released that I saw and that we both saw. I think you called it C Claude
Claude.
or
Claude
something.
is an AI. It's
Yeah.
by the company called Anthropic. I actually have
Yeah.
an account for it. I've used it before.
And it's an AI that is supposed to help you write code super easily.
I think it does other things as well.
It does other things, but
it's
that's
supposed
the
to be
main.
really good at the code.
But that's
right now.
the main thing that I saw, at least online people using it for. But that to me sparked a whole feeling, conversation, sense of worry.
Mhm.
And it hits another video we were looking at where a lady, we saw a TikTok video, a lady was discussing, hey, one of the worst things that AI is doing to people is making climate change more of a disaster because that enforces desertification, which enforces people or farmers to lose grassland, which informs farmers to lose money, which informs them to go to
Yeah, a lot of
terroristic
steps.
organizations, which causes global panic and problems,
Blah 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 blah.
which led big explanation tangent thing, which led to me people do not, which led to me that there is one big question, and the whole code AI thing leads to this as well. People do not understand what AI is.
Yeah, that's what the conversation was.
That is the big thing that gave me a sense of worry. Like we have all these apps and things that have this nice sparkle animation, and then when you press a button, certain things happen. You get a nice image or a couple images you can choose from, or a text that gives you all information, or a video. But people do not understand how that works and why that works, and why how that works might be a problem in certain ways. Because the main problem here, which referring back to the lady's TikTok, is not necessarily that AI is super good, is that AI is costly.
Energy usage,
energy, space,
raw materials to the data,
raw materials,
chips.
like
Yeah,
it is
chips.
The one thing that I thought about a video that she said very well is AI is a physical it's a physical change. It's not a digital, it's not informational. It is actually a physical change to the world. You're building data centers, you're building big ass computers,
massive data centers, yeah.
Massive data centers that will be used for somebody to figure out, oh, can you offer me the best recipe? I'm being very glib here, but yeah, that's basically that for me translated into people do not know what AI is, and people are losing touch with understanding the devices they are holding.
Yeah, but that's always been the case.
That's always been the case, but it's becoming. There was always a group that you could trust on to understand and make sure that they everything happened properly and ethically. If coders do not code themselves and they write prompts in English to get an AI to write for them an app, that's what the Claude app does. I do not know if in a couple years, if that's super prevalent, people still understand what a computer is. Like and I'm sounding like the old man. The beauty of having used a desktop computer, laptop, tablet, and now a phone is that you understand. You know the steps. You know the steps. You know that if on the computer, if you put something in, you get something out. Input output. Most basic of basic things. If you take too many steps away from that, if you take away the code, if you take away understanding how text is being processed and all that kind of stuff, you do not understand it. And then you think, and that's what you said. Then you start thinking that AI is magical and alive, which it is not.
Yeah, then you start thinking in terms of human. That's my hypothesis recently is that it's just another tech hype cycle. no different than crypto, which we were very involved in, that makes a lot of big promises to fuel speculation. Gives me a lot of big promises, creates consumer interest. Creates consumer interest, consumer hype. It's the bigger conversation about how valuations in companies currently are very much the degree to which they're driven by virality and online hype. Yeah. People underestimate the degree to which, $1 million investors that are invested in things like Tesla and Microsoft just watch YouTube like everybody else. I think people forget that.
Which is insane.
I think people think that those people live in some special ivory tower where they get special information, which they do also, but they also just watch TikTok videos. So the whole, and again, I was watching this quick side tangent, but I've been following this guy called Gary Stevenson. He has a YouTube channel called Gary's Economics.
And I think I've seen that.
Yeah, he's getting more popular. He was a top trader at Citibank. He was one of the best traders in the entire world at a certain point. And he was saying something very interesting. I watched an interview with him where he said something very interesting. He said that as a trader, he said economic analysis mostly is bullshit, right? And the ones that you see on the media and the news are just, it's an entertainment product. The best economists are traders. And they get paid a lot of money to not tell anybody how things really work.
Yeah.
But the point that he was making is that when he was trading, he would read the newspaper.
Cultural.
Because even though he knows what they say in there is bullshit, he needs to know what you think.
So because that's how you move. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to bring that back to the AI thing, I think plenty of top level people and investors know what it actually is. But they need to know what you think it is. And if you think it's something that's going to disrupt and change the entire world, okay, that means that you're going to buy products or push up the stock of this company. So I should buy early before you do that to push my stock up. And that sort of creates this sort of hype cycle.
I think it's 50-50. I think a part of them is like you say, they do know what AI is. They do understand what it is and what it isn't. And they're just looking at how we as regular humans look at things and trying to move on that. I think there is a group of people that do think AI is magical, and that anybody who works on an LLM, large language model, is literally trying to build a new intelligence.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the people with the big money.
I think that's people with big enough money to start companies and start up, in the first couple phases of these stupid companies. I think like a couple of these hardware shits, the Rabbit shit, was investors like that. Because how do you build something like that and not have dumb people like that prop you up?
I disagree. I think that's actually a very good example of the opposite.
Maybe a combination.
If I'm an investor and I'm looking at this kid who's going to build this Rabbit, this tool, in the middle of an AI hype cycle, I don't need it to work. I just need you to hype it up and sell it to enough people to make me money. I don't need it to actually work. You see what I'm saying? So if you're thinking like that,
then we're getting back to the whole problem with the business part that we were talking about before, where evaluations are just fucking nothing. You're giving money away for shit, for just air.
Yeah, because I know it'll make me money. You know what I'm saying? That's the point. Yeah,
no, because the one thing.
Yeah, but that's the strategy, right? So this is what I'm saying. It's a branding thing. I think they're all collectively, and especially the Sam Altmans and people at that level. I think her name is Mira Murati, the CTO of the. They know what the thing actually is and what it actually does.
It's basically a text interpreter. It looks.
They know what it actually is, but if you create this sort of hype, it pushes up valuations. And if it pushes up valuations, you make more money. You're worth more money. That's what my hypothesis is currently. Because I think that and then it plays in well, because even the part of like playing into the fears of it, I think is part of it. Because you have the sentiment of people, these researchers and scientists, that are like, oh, AI could be very dangerous. But again, they're more on the theoretical part of it, mostly. They don't have the source code of OpenAI and how it actually functions, because it's called OpenAI, but it's not open source, by the way. For those of you who
we have this discussion.
Don't know. So if I can mimic it well enough, and that's the thing, if I can create something that mimics it well enough, oh my god, they even talked about this thing where there's this whole phenomenon where they talked about like tech that isn't really tech, where I forget which company it was, but people thought that they were using tech, that they were talking to a certain app, and that the app was getting responses, but it was literally just people that were working in India. At like
I think I've seen something like that.
It was something
times.
with like the self checkout, some sort of like it was a company that had like a self checkout.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon. That was it.
People in India.
The Amazon thing where you could just walk in a store and walk out,
and it would charge you.
It was apparently people in India just checking cameras,
manually doing it. It wasn't tech doing it. And there's been several things like that.
Yeah.
Right. So my point is, with the AI thing, I'm like, of course it's impressive, and of course it's clearly an innovation in many levels. Even if you want to look at it from a user experience perspective, it's still an innovation to say instead of giving you a list of bullshit, I give you a specific thing. That in itself you could call an innovation. But this thing of it being super intelligent and it being this reaching the level of singularity and all this other stuff, that I think is pretty debatable. But it helps the valuations.
100%.
And it makes people more money. So that's what I think. Personally. Right? I think people are missing because the innovation that it actually is still very big.
What I hate about all this,
it is still a very big innovation. Just like crypto was still a very big innovation. It's just they turn it into like, and this is going to create a metaverse and we're all going to do. They take it too far. You see what I'm saying?
Here I have to, crypto's not an innovation. Or at least I don't know yet.
Blockchain technology is.
Okay. Fair. What I hate about all of this, also what crypto did to all this, what AI is doing to all this, is that we're not getting products out of this. We're not getting anything useful out of this. OpenAI is the only useful thing I feel like we have gotten out of this AI thing.
On a mass scale.
Only thing that's useful enough to be mentioned.
On a mass scale.
Within crypto or blockchain, at least I've not seen it yet. And maybe that's the good thing because blockchain is supposed to be not seen. But there's no everybody who's tried to make a proper product out of this shit is either making another fucking chatbot, which I don't need, which nobody really needs.
You mean with AI?
With AI? Yeah. Or they're making something that talks to OpenAI, which, why are you making a company? Why are you making a company for an extension, basically? Like, there's no products coming out of any of this. And it's basically everything you've said there for the evaluation idea and the whole business idea and the quick selling and that part is the reason for that.
I mean, there's a bigger conversation around the degree to which, because there are products coming out of it, they're just coming from established companies because they have the tech and the resources and the money to do it.
Yeah, you can actually argue that a Microsoft and later an Apple and a Google are the only ones that can.
They've added features.
They have features,
to their so it might not be an entirely new product because they can add a feature to a product they already have. For a company to come completely new and from scratch to start a whole new product, people are trying, like Claude. But it's another chatbot.
If we properly invested in proper companies instead of trying to get quick money, there would be more. I feel. If you tried to support a proper Humane Rabbit or one of those kind of companies, there could have been already one right now. They would maybe still be building.
It takes time. That's another thing.
Humane has been busy for years. They've been busy for a while.
But then there's a hype cycle, and they think they need to jump on the hype cycle.
That's why they probably released a shitty ass product, and now they're gone almost.
Yeah, but they're still selling it off. Probably for more than they put in. These are capitalistic games, my friend. This is business. Like, if I have some type of infrastructure set up for an AI company and there's an AI hype cycle, bruv.
But this is where I get towards
sell it.
And I didn't want to have this conversation. The capitalist versus non-capitalist framework, like you basically get to the question, does the capitalist system work?
Yeah.
You see why I don't want to have this conversation?
I mean, we can, but maybe not today, maybe not fully today, but I would say it doesn't work. I think that when people ask that, it always depends on what you think it's supposed to do. Because often when people say it doesn't work, they mention a bunch of things where I go, yeah, but that's not what it's supposed to do. All right, so
fair enough.
You're saying it doesn't work because it's doing something it's not meant to do. If you look at what it's supposed to do, it's working quite fine. It's working exactly how it's supposed to
make
work.
A person rich. in that sense, it does what it needs to do. But is that collectively the best thing for the? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's besides.
But I mean, with the AI stuff, I think it's a. Again, I think it's a similar bet. I think it has value. I think it is an innovation. I think it's a big disruptor. I just think people were. It's just what people are like. Again, the Nvidia earnings reports came out earlier this week, and it's a perfect example of it where this company is fucking, I don't know, exponentially grown in size in only a short amount of time because of their investment into AI infrastructure, the chips. Ridiculous. I think second most valuable company in the world, or the most valuable company in the world, just because of this hype cycle. Ridiculous numbers, and yet there was a slight dip in the stock price, I believe, because the earnings, the earnings that came in, as ridiculous and as high as they were still lower than what people expected. So it's like, it's all about expectations. Like, this AI stuff is valuable, but it's like the value of it is probably here, which is still crazy high, but somehow we find a way to put our expectations even here. And then if it doesn't meet this, then that's not good, even though this is already ridiculous. So I'm saying, it's like, that's sort of what's happening right now.
We go too far with this kind of shit. Why does it need to be so high? Why is it not good enough to make incremental steps? People like, yeah. I think also the cycle during I don't go back to that. COVID changed our world. The cycle during COVID, when everything was so high, fucked some people's perception of what shit should be. It was the first time a good group of people looked at the stock markets in forever, and they learned from that time, and they think every time needs to be like that.
Works like that,
yeah. For me, I fully agree with you that this is a hype cycle thing, and you forget sometimes that hype cycles are a thing. That is especially in tech, that it's a big part of how shit works. AI should die off soon. It has to, basically. Soon, with soon I mean in the next couple of years, and then there's multiple years. And then it should go dormant for a while, and then it should be properly integrated into shit. But
again, it's always in the background.
Yeah.
It's a hype cycle. The hype cycle dies off. Before you know it, 5 years later.
There will be some other shit.
Before you know it, 5 years later, everyone is using AI, but you probably don't think about it very much.
Yeah, you don't even call it
AI
a thing.
Anymore. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, because it is being built and it is useful.
For me, the implications of AI are really the issue. Like, I do not, and it will not be everybody. And we said that we had this talk before, but I do not like the fact that, bluntly said, people will stop learning shit.
Yeah, but tech in general is going to do that. Things are easier, more convenient. People spend less time learning how to do something themselves because they can get.
I don't fully agree, because tech has, like, older or before this, tech has given us options. The search engine, the browser, the internet did not make us learn less. It made us learn in a different way. I do not feel that AI gives us a different way.
How's your handwriting?
My handwriting's still good.
Yeah.
So I can write for you right now.
Your handwriting is shit.
It will be good.
People's handwriting is shit because they type.
But kids do not even know how to handwrite. But handwriting,
that's my point.
I have no problem with that one.
But that's my point. If you bring tech into the play, people forget things like how to write a letter or paper.
But that's why I said it's not necessarily that older tech makes it, but it made us better in other stuff. You're still writing. It's not like you didn't write, you stopped writing completely. You're still writing.
How's your grammar?
My grammar is fine.
You're full of shit. Dude.
Fine.
You're full of shit.
It's fine.
People have People have autocorrect. People can't fucking spell words. But now you're getting close to
at some point, people will not even know what proper English is.
That's my point. Because the AI does it for you.
And that is where it's not a benefit, it's a replacement of shit. That is where my issue here is. Because the whole time, every time we have this AI conversation, there's a seed, there's something, and I've not been able to articulate it well. Maybe I don't spend enough time trying to articulate it, but there's something with AI that doesn't sit well with me. And maybe it's this. It is not it is beneficial. I'm not going to say it's not beneficial, but there's no learning that you can take. Like, if you take, for example, the grammar thing you mentioned, like, you're still writing, you're still using English, you're still using Dutch, you're still using French, whatever language you're using. There's a help. that suggest, hey, this is maybe better for you to use. If AI takes the case, if I look at how my girlfriend sometimes uses AI for her work, she basically says, yo, I have this information and I need to send it to somebody, format me an email in formal language. And she doesn't even look at it. She skims it one time and then sends it. It's great. Hey, it's great. Saves her a lot of time, saves me a lot of time because I don't have to double check it or whatever, or she doesn't have to double check it. When I do it myself for myself, it's great. But it takes away the learning of how to use formal language.
Yeah.
And that is a detriment. And that's a tiny thing, but if you take that to code, if you take that to film, take that to other stuff, that's a big change.
It is a big change, yeah.
And that, I know there will be something to replace it, because the whole thing with AI before, we were talking about, AI will take jobs away and everything. Sure, but there will be new jobs. There will be new ways of doing stuff. If you don't know how to make video anymore because of AI, you still will learn how to make prompts in the right way and you'll be able to do it. But there's something inherently, and this may be me as some kind of dreamer kind of person thinking, there's something inherently better and more interesting about editing shit yourself. You figure out the nuances, like, because AI cannot think, it cannot imagine. And that's necessary. That part is losing with this AI is not worth losing imagining for. That's maybe the thing. Late AI maybe, but this AI is not worth losing imagining for.
Well, we'll see. They say it's going to keep getting better and better.
It is literally,
in 5 years, it could be crazy.
It is literally linking words and images together, and it's not.
But that is an innovation. That is impactful.
Yeah, but it's not imagining.
Yeah, but maybe
it's not bringing stuff further. It's not giving you ideas.
Yeah, but we know that. And this is my point, right? When I say we know that, I know that. Other people might not know that.
We know, yeah.
That is still a big innovation, right? The fact even if you take away, okay, it can't think for itself, right? And it can't come up with anything new itself, but its ability to do things faster that you now don't have to do,
yeah,
right, is still a tremendous innovation. So you take that example of your girlfriend writing the email, and it's like, yeah, it's not coming up with something revolutionary. It understands language and knows how to write a formal email.
Yes,
but that's still time that you don't have to spend writing that email.
And I almost would say I would prefer if only people who know about the shit that they're prompting for should be able to use AI. But that's impossible.
That's not how it works.
That's not how it works. But that would be my. But I'm still trying to formulate this thought, because I still feel like there's something off about all of this, and there's a bigger issue that we're not tackling. And I feel like this is the closest I've gotten. There is a literacy or learning skill that we're losing. And with every innovation, like if we talked about before, with searching, when Google brought you search results, yes, you stopped searching for shit yourself, but you still learned. If you got into a Google result,
people use AI for learning. AI can actually be very helpful.
In a different way.
AI can actually be very helpful with learning because it's more of a back and forth. I used it a lot for my test when I was studying, but for tech stuff, I was learning it very much. I was using it very much for that. It's pretty good for that. You'd be surprised.
We keep going back to this. You know how to use it.
Yeah.
You're more technologically minded. You understand why the AI is thinking in certain ways. You understand it is linking certain information together. So you understand, okay, I need to ask shit in this kind of way. I'm more about that little niece or nephew that we all will have that is using an iPad now, and at some point they will need to use AI. Will they understand what is going on behind and be able to grasp that, or will they just learn how to write prompts?
Yeah.
Well, there's a difference between the two. Understanding the stuff behind and writing prompts for that, or just learning how to write prompts, are two completely different schools of thought. But it's a further conversation we can have. Let's wrap it up for now.
Good.
I thought it was a good.
Good.
This was a good one. Let's cleanly wrap it up. Good topic. I think when Dunk is here, we can talk more about The first one, the hip hop topic. I'm sure he has thoughts on that.
Yeah, as well as the job listing
the job listing thing. So we will be back. Yeah, hopefully
next
week.
Right?
This time we're intending to keep it going again.
Yeah, once every 2 next 2 weeks.
So thank you for listening. We were the Three Angry Men. Just to now, I'm Jeffrey.
Oliver.
And you can find us on all platforms where podcasts are being played. So Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts. Google Podcasts is gone. Now YouTube Podcast. The Podtrack and other places. And you can also find us on YouTube and on Instagram, X. We don't have a Threads account, but at some point we may. Follow us, comment, like, share. Let us know what you thought about the episode. Let us know about the certain parts, which parts you like more. What do you want us to talk about? And we will consider that. And thank you for listening. Peace.
Yo.